Welcome back to the Torras AI podcast. I am your host, Jordi Torras. Today, I'm thrilled to be joined by someone who brings a wealth of experience in finance, strategy, and scaling startups. Sarah Gregor is a certified public accountant and a seasoned finance leader who held executive roles in high-growth SaaS companies, including two successful exits. She is currently VP of Finance at Allure Security, where she's helping shape the future of cybersecurity. Sarah also advises early stage companies as a fractional CFO and serves on multiple advisory boards. We're going to dive into her journey, her take on financial leadership in tech, and where she sees AI reshaping the finance function. Sarah, welcome to this podcast.
Thank you, Jordy.
Thank you so much for being here. All right. So, Sarah, to kick things off, could you tell us a little bit about your professional journey from accounting and finance into becoming a CFO and a strategic advisor for startups?
Absolutely. So I always knew from when I was very young that I kind of wanted to be in finance. Um, when you're young, you don't know where it's going to take you, but my journey kind of started with being on your lowest tier in a finance office, being a staff accountant, just learning the ropes of everything, working under multiple CPAs, really gaining their knowledge and just growing in those fields. As time went on in my career, I worked in a lot of technology companies. I really enjoy that. My father is a computer engineer by trade, so technology has kind of always been in my blood, I guess. So I kind of crossed finance with technology and kind of been focused more in the technology type of area. And then there's also some very specific things around SaaS compliance that is very specific and I can bring to multiple SaaS companies. So just worked my way up the rings all the way up to CFO, working on exits with multiple startups. A lot of stressful times, but all good, all good. You learn a lot,
and
a lot.
and we worked together, right? And
We did.
my previous company. So we know a little bit about stressful times during an exit time, right? We went
Yes,
through all
yes,
that together.
we
And I
did. That's
need
how we met.
to, I want to publicly thank you for all the time. I know it was a lot of work. Um, we had some fun, but also a lot of stress too. So for all the
Yeah.
entrepreneurs there, that's not something that I believe anyone can jump over. You have to go through this in order to be successful.
Yes.
So, um, you've worked across multiple SaaS companies and led finance through different growth phases. What draws you to the startup world and what keeps you motivated in these high stakes environments?
So really, I love the small growing startups because you get to know your team, work across a bigger team, gain expertise from differing points of view. If you're in a larger company, you might be more segmented. Smaller companies, not so much. And I love that. I love working with people and learning things and imparting my own knowledge to others. So just being able to be involved, that's really where the motivation comes in. Like you are a team player and you're helping each other. It's not he said, she said, they do their thing, we do our thing. It's really, you have to come together because small companies are so small and they run so lean that you have to be able to help each other. And that's really my motivation. I love it. I love meeting people, learning about different cultures, you name it. I love that part.
Absolutely, that's awesome. And also, you are or you are providing right fractional CFO services, and also served in as an on advisory boards. So, what's the biggest value a startup gets when bringing a seasoned finance leader like yourself early on?
Yeah, so there's always kind of like when you're doing something, you're like, oh, hindsight 2020, I wish I knew that. I wish I would have developed that. So if you come in early on as a fractional CFO, um, you kind of in a sense already have that hindsight 2020 from working in the later stage companies. So you can bring it to those other companies and be like, well, we probably really shouldn't do it this way because I've done it and I've seen it and it's failed and it's, or not failed, but maybe been painful to work through. Um, all those kind of knowledge of like seeing how the growth pains of other companies that are later in their stage, that kind of feeds into kind of like what you can advise on in those really early startups where it's maybe just like just the CEO. We'll say just the
Right.
CEO. So that knowledge is very helpful of kind of imparting. And as I mentioned before, I mean, I love to impart my knowledge, and then I also learn from them. But imparting my own knowledge of, hey, we should really think about it this way. And that's kind of what I bring to those companies.
That's awesome. And now about what you are doing now, right? So as the current VP of Finance at Allure Security, what are some of the unique challenges or innovations you are seeing at the intersection of finance, cybersecurity, and AI?
So this is a unique question because AI can definitely be very helpful. So it can help you, uh, well, it can do some task automation, obviously. That's always like efficiency gains that you are always looking for in any department that you work in a company. But really the ability to react more quickly in utilizing AI. So like AI will make a forecast or give you some insights into kind of how you're building your plan. It might help you alter your strategy because you didn't think about something that AI is saying, hey, maybe you should think about this. Um,
Hmm.
so there's a lot of interesting aspects that that can bring. However, there are challenges too. So the challenges really being risk. So the risk of your AI being biased because based on the data it had, it's creating this bias that you unintentionally didn't want it to do. Um,
Mhm.
Data privacy, I mean, finance is all about uh, banking transactions, all the private, confidential information of a company. So data privacy in general about even your company, but your customers too. So
Hmm.
there's a lot of risk that you have to make sure that you're managing by utilizing AI. And then if something fails, where's the accountability? Are you going to say, hey,
Right.
my AI guy over there did that? Um,
No, you
yeah,
can't do that,
it's
I guess. It's you, still you,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So there's definitely a lot of issues with utilizing AI. So it's a risk and reward that you have to kind of balance out. I don't know if you remember last year there was the the finance worker who did a Zoom call with their CFO and it
Okay.
was all AI generated. Um,
What? So
and
wait,
he
the
yeah, so his CFO
Zoom,
was AI generated
so it was
in
not
the Zoom
real,
call,
it was not a real
not real,
CFO. Okay. Wow.
not the real CFO. And this financer worker wired out $25 million based on this fake Zoom call.
Oh, wow.
So that's a lot of money.
It is.
And I can tell you, I mean, just even being in finance today, like finance people are the ones that get poked with a lot of phishing emails, um,
You're right.
fake text messages, um, actually, which my current company tries to mitigate. We try to get away the make the fake text disappear, make the phishing disappear,
Oh,
all that fake stuff. So that's what we try to do. But finance does get very hit very hard with those
Yeah.
emails, no matter where you are.
And
I even
it's a
remember
classic, right? Being the finance and receiving an email from your
CEO.
CEO, and it's like, hey, I am in a meeting, I can't go out. I need to, can you transfer this money quickly because we are closing something super secret that I can't talk to you about. And individuals in some companies fall for it. And here we go. If it wouldn't
I
work,
remember my first day working with you. I think I got a fake text that was like, "Hey, please wire this. Call me back." And
oh,
I think I got on a call with you and I said, "Hey, I got this weird thing, and it doesn't seem like you." So
and
yeah,
I was like, yeah, because it's not. And before you, right? Another finance in the company. Um, well, I was, approving transfers and payments at the bank,
yeah.
and I was like, why are we paying like 24,000 euros to this company in Germany that I never heard of before? So I called. It's like, yeah, that's the transfer that you asked me for. I was like, I didn't ask for anybody. Yeah, don't you remember the email? No.
Oh gosh.
And then when we were looking at that together, and he saw that was something.com, not the company at all. It's like he wanted to disappear. It's like, oh no. So
Yeah.
it's been out there, and it's amazing. There's still, and I guess there's even more sophisticated attacks. I'm assuming, right? And you guys at
Oh, they're
Allure.
getting much more sophisticated. Like,
Oh boy.
in my current company, that's what they kind of keep an eye on is like all those different um, scams and fake con artists that are out there and code that might be capturing information the way you don't want it to. And then just think about like how that impacts the individual companies. If somebody is faking like a company, like the
Right.
company's brand is getting attacked now. And the consumer doesn't know any better, so they blame it on the company.
Right.
um, so yeah, so there's definitely a lot of different there's back to kind of there's the risk and the reward. You have to make sure that you understand where the risks are and then work on mitigating them too.
Right.
Um, so yeah, so I mean it's a unique time where there's definitely benefits, but
Yeah.
definitely need to be careful.
Absolutely. Huh. All right. So this podcast has a lot of viewers that are themselves entrepreneurs and trying to start their business. So, from your experiences with mergers and acquisitions, what advice would you offer to startup founders who might be eyeing an exit in the next couple of years?
Prepare now. um,
2 years prior.
Prepare now. Yes, 2 years prior. Um, really get yourself organized. One of my recommendations would be to pull up like a due diligence list off of a website anywhere. Just say like, what's a M&A due diligence list?
Hmm.
Pull it up, and can you answer those questions? Can you answer those questions quickly? Um,
Right.
if you can't, start thinking about how you could organize either your files or um, creating information because like startups sometimes just they're running so fast that they don't have all of their like job descriptions. We'll just say job descriptions of their
Right.
employees. They don't have all of them written. That would be like a due diligence type of thing. So like,
Hmm.
hey, I have a job and what's the job description? Um, so there's a lot of like little things like that that you don't think about. But if you can prepare and get yourself organized, when you get to the time of actually having a data room and going through your exit, you are going to be so prepared. And then that comes off as a confidence thing too. Because you're confident, because you're so prepared, your your discussions with potential buyers is going to be that much better just because they're confident and they see how confident you are in your information and your business and things like that. So to really prepare now. It'll be a little painful, but it'll pay off.
It's a better pain than the pain at a later stage, right? When the actual
Yes.
due diligence is happening, then
Yes.
is when you are in a lot of pressure with valuations, plus the pressure of not having the actual exit happening, right? Because that's something that I think I learned from you is like, hey, not all these operations end up happening, and they're a problem because you spend a lot of time and energy, and employees know, and when that's not happening at the end, it's kind of a pain for everybody.
Right. Right. But then also on the flip side, I mean, you have to know your value. So if you are going through kind of a due diligence process with somebody and you know that it's not the right fit, don't be afraid to walk away either. You don't
Right.
have to bring it to a resolution. If it's not the right fit, it's not the right fit.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
so there is that too. So while it's not necessarily a fail, it's knowing yourself, knowing your company. So
Right.
make sure
Right.
it's right.
Yeah. Yeah. And how do you think the future is going to be for AI and finance or and technology? I know that nobody knows that, right? Unless you have a
Crystal
uh,
ball.
exactly, right? But hey, that we are here to just improvise a little bit. So, what do you think AI and technology is gonna take us in the next 5 years?
Um, so it's kind of hard. So I would say in a finance world, it might make actually auditors' jobs easier because it can evaluate information as a third party a little bit faster and help people find fraud potentially. I mean, it could be used to find fraud in general, like in, I don't know,
Mhm.
tax returns or something. Um, but there's definitely it needs to be developed a little bit more and kind of streamlined, kind of like how I was mentioning that there's um, the bias that AI can have. How do we
Right,
get around that? That's a big hurdle that's going to have to kind of be overcome. Um, I mean, one of the bias that, just as an example, to share where a bias from AI could be, let's just say that a bank is using AI to look at a loan application. And based on certain data, now it's trained to almost be discriminatory.
Hmm.
Um, so even if it's not its intent, maybe it just flagged that, hey, you always kind of decline something, or typically decline something with this, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. Um, so now it has the bias to just decline everybody, which you don't want.
right,
Um, so how do we overcome that, especially in kind of an area where there's a lot of moving numbers and like what's right, what's wrong? There's a lot of interpretation that you get from a real human that you wouldn't really necessarily get from AI. Um, so I think there's definitely improvements in task automation that will come.
Mhm.
Um, but that hurdle is going to be tough. That hurdle of bias is going to be tough, I think.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Listen, um, I know you're very busy. I want to be respectful with your time. But just one last question is for our audience. I want to know more and learn about finance and technology and AI and exits and all this. What would be the best way to reach out to you?
So I have a very strong LinkedIn presence.
Okay.
So I believe it's SJG-CPA on LinkedIn. But you can just search for Sarah Gregor. I'm sure I'll pop up.
All right.
My picture's there. You'll see me. Connect on to, connect with me via LinkedIn. I'm always checking kind of my messages and making sure that I'm connecting with the right people. Learning from you, learning from me, all all the type of back and forth that I love to do.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah, for today.
Thank you, Jordy.
All right, and for the rest of the audience, stay tuned because very soon we're going to have a very interesting person also in our podcast. So see you soon.